I didn't feel like putting on a shirt, so you guys are gonna have to get this view for now. But yeah, I wanted to talk about just the in general hostility in Springfield. Like, I don't understand it at all. Um, so I rode the bus yesterday and I went to Natural Grocers and I walked in and like when I walked in they had this little table of like samples and they had like fruit and then they had some like vitamins and stuff. And so I was just like looking at it and immediately people start staring at me. Like I'm not doing anything to draw attention to myself at this point. I'm not videoing, I'm not talking, I'm not doing anything. I'm just looking at these samples to see what they are. And then I was like, okay, like in my mind, I'm thinking I'll try one of these vitamins. So I get one of the vitamins and I throw away the cup or whatever. And this person is walking by behind me. And instead of just like walking behind me, like a normal person would, they like stop their cart and stand there. And so I look behind me to see like maybe there's a shelf closer to me than what I had realized or something. And I look and there's enough space for probably 3 or 4 people to walk shoulder to shoulder next, like behind me. And so I'm kind of like, okay. And so then I walk away from there and they're just like walking behind me still. And so I go down an aisle, they follow me down that aisle. I go down a different aisle, they finally leave me alone. But it was like you can tell it was on purpose. They were following me. Like they had no reason to be on that aisle. And then I'm walking around and find the canned food section. I'm looking at the prices. I'm like, nah, it's not worth it here because it's like $1.75 for a canned food. I'm like, no, I'll go next door to Target, right? So then I go over to the medicine section to see if they have any like something for my foot because I got sore on my foot from my shoes. And so I'm just kind of browsing around. And then I walk out from there and I'm going over towards the water to see if there's any like affordable water. It's Natural Grocers. I don't know what I was expecting. And as I'm walking over there, this worker, he's over there stocking shelves. He stops what he's doing, comes to the end of the aisle. I'm like, I don't know, probably 12 or more feet away from the aisle that he's on with my back to him, like minding my own business. And he just goes, can I help you, sir? And I assumed he was talking to somebody else because, like, it sounded like he was talking to somebody much closer to him. And as I turned to go up the water, or towards the water, I seen him in my peripheral vision just, like, mean mugging me, like, just death stare, if looks could kill. And so I'm, like, kind of, like, look at him confused to make eye contact with him. And he's like, can I help you, sir? I'm like, no, I'm good. And he's like, okay. I'm thinking, what the fuck is with the attitude? And so I go over to the water. It's all like super expensive. So then I go back up. I end up getting one of those kombucha refresher things with some like chia seed. And then I go outside and there's this little sitting area that like you can go like sit and like eat your food from Natural Grocers because they sell stuff that's like they have like a microwave in there, like you can microwave your food. Like at Whole Foods they have lots of tables. They have tables inside, outside. There's one Whole Foods that has upstairs. You can go up there and hang out. But they just had this one table. And I was looking at it, and at first I thought, I wonder if this is just for employees. But it wasn't posted. There was no, like, employee break room sign or employees only or anything like that. And the gate was open. So I was like, okay, I'll go sit over here. So I sat down, and I was there for maybe, like, 5 minutes. And I realized, oh, shit, I'm about to get in trouble. Because I looked up, and there's this sign facing me that says, no loitering, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, this kind of feels like entrapment, to put this table here and then to put the sign right there that says no loitering. Anyways, so go over to Target, get what I need from Target, and then I go outside, and as soon as I get out the door, I realize, oh, I have no clue, like, what time the bus runs or where the bus stop is at or any of that. So I just, like, set my stuff down for a second. I'm, like, next to the wall, just kind of, like, playing on my phone, and everybody who was walking in and out of the Target was just, like, giving me that same, like, fuck you kind of look. Because I'm like, I guess technically loitering at that point. Like, even though I had a shopping bag in my hand, that I'm just taking like 3 or 4 minutes to pull up my GPS to see where I need to walk to. So, anyways, finally get out of there. And I'm like, oh, I'll stop by Taco Bell. So I go into Taco Bell and go over to the kiosk, order, but I needed to pay with cash. So you have to go over to the front register. So I'm like, I need to pay with cash. It's like, okay, it's over at the register. Go to the register and pay up there. So I go over to the register, and the workers are just ignoring me. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, you would think within like 20 or so seconds, somebody would come over there. No, like 3 or 4 minutes later, somebody finally walks up, and he has the shittiest attitude. He's just like giving me that same shitty fuck you kind of look. And I'm like, what the fuck? So, anyways, he comes up there and he's like, excuse me, sir, can I help you? You know how, like, if somebody's doing something or they're somewhere they're not supposed to be, you approach them and be like, excuse me, sir, can I help you? What are you doing over here? You know what I mean? You're not supposed to be over here, that kind of vibe. He's like, excuse me, sir, can I help you? And I'm like, I ordered on the kiosk, I need to pay. And he goes, oh, okay. And then he walks away. And I'm like, what the fuck, you douchebag? Like, I literally said that out loud. And then I'm just like standing there waiting. Like 2 or 3 minutes later, finally somebody else comes over and she's like, hi. She's really nice. She's like, hi, can I help you? And I'm like, oh yeah, I ordered on the kiosk, I just need to pay. She's like, oh, okay. And then I paid and everything. And then, got my stuff and left. Like, I don't know what their deal is. But, yeah. I kind of wish I had, like, glasses or something that recorded, because there's a lot of these situations I'm just like, just describing it or like telling people it happened, like, is not really convincing or believable. Like, it's just weird. So, I mean, I'm glad I got this room for a week, because I don't have to be like in the public space anymore. Because it's like, you do anything, like, go, even when I had my car, like, even if I was just like, go to a fucking fast food place, order my food, decide to eat in my car, workers are gonna come out and harass me saying you're loitering, blah blah blah. Or people walking by will just like stare at me. Or if I'm like parked where people on the inside can see me, they'll just sit there and stare at me the whole time they're eating. I'm like, do you guys not have anything interesting in your lives that, like, a stranger existing is somehow worthy of staring at? Like, it's so creepy. They're fucking creepy here. And like, they all know like the bus schedules and stuff. Like, even the people who drive, like, for some reason they know all the bus schedules, which is like, you have a car, like, why would you give a fuck? But so, like, I'll like go to a bus stop, because like it'll just show the bus stop like in the middle of the road. Like, it'll just like put the pin in the middle of the road, and there'll be 2 different bus stops, one on each side. So you have to actually physically walk up to the sign and look at it and see if that's the line you're supposed to be on, because it might be like, the sign might say, oh, this is for green and something else, and the other side's like, oh, this is for black and blue or whatever, I don't know. And so I like walk down to one of the bus stops, because it was like saying it was one of them. So I walk up to the sign to see if that's like where I'm supposed to be or not. And apparently I'm supposed to be across the street. So I look up at the sign, look back down at my phone, and kind of look around to see like, well, where is it at on the other side, and how am I going to cross? Like, do I want to go this way or that way to cross? So I'm just taking a second to observe. I couldn't have been there for more than 3 minutes, just observing traffic, observing the lights to see which way is going to be more efficient to get over there, finding actually where I'm supposed to go. And